Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you all here to our council session, February the 3rd. That's what it is. I have trouble remembering dates. Thanks for coming. It's getting a little blustery out there. No sunny days like we had the last couple of days. They were really nice. But here we are, back to touch of winter. I'll call this meeting to order. Is there any disclosure pecuniary interest under the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act that needs to be stated? Seeing none, we'll carry on. The minutes of the previous meeting. It moved by Councillor Dirksen, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the minutes of the Town of Minto January 20th meeting 2026 regular council meeting be approved. All those in favor? And that's passed. Now we're moving into a resolution moving council into committee of adjustment to consider a minor variance. Moved by Councillor Podnowitz, seconded by Councillor Zimmerman. The Town of Minto Council convenes in the committee of adjustment. All those in favor? And that's passed. I don't see any members of the public here for this meeting, but we'll call the meeting to order. Any decision reached by this committee today cannot be used to set a precedent. Each application considered by the committee is dealt with on its own merits. No two applications are exactly the same. This public hearing is to consider minor variance application MV 2026-01, Ontario 2626514 Limited, care of Jeff Metzger. And Treasurer McRobb will give us some information to consider.
Thank you. The property subject to the proposed minor variance application is legally described as Survey Fuller and Watson's Part Lot 109 RP 61R 22056 Part 1 with a municipal address of 300 Bolton Street, Palmerston in the Town of Minto. The subject property is approximately 551.19 meters squared or 5,933 feet squared. The purpose and effect of this minor variance application is to seek relief from the minimum lot area requirement for the retained parcel containing 1 unit of an existing 4-unit street townhouse, as well as relief from the minimum rear yard setback and minimum lot frontage requirements for the severed parcel to permit the construction of a single-family residential dwelling. Sections 12.2.6.1, 12.2.1.6, and 12.2.1.2 of the Town of Minto's Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw 01-86 as amended requires a minimum lot area of 200 meters squared or 3,014 feet squared and a minimum rear yard setback of 7.6 meters or 24.9 feet and a minimum lot frontage of 12 meters or 39.4 feet. The proposed development seeks relief to permit a reduced minimum lot area of 201 meters squared or 2,164 feet, a reduced rear yard setback of 1.8 meters or 5.9 feet, and a reduced lot frontage of 4.7 meters, which is 15.4 feet. Additional relief may be requested at the time of the meeting. The notices were mailed to the property owners within 200 feet or 60 meters of the subject property, as well as the applicable agencies on January 22nd, 2026, and posted on the subject property on the same date. Reports have been received from both town staff and Wellington County staff.
And I'll pass it over to Sama to make comments. Yes?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. I just wanted to mention staff are requesting that this public meeting be deferred to the next council meeting due to a numerical error identified in the notice. Thank you.
Okay. So I will ask for a mover for that motion. And a seconder, Deputy Mayor. David's here. Councillor Dirksen and Councillor Zimmerman. All those in favor? And that passed.
May I just read out that motion?
Oh, sorry, yes.
Yep. That the Committee of Adjustment proceedings to consider minor variance application MV 2026-01 Ontario 2626514 Limited, care of Jeff Metzger, be deferred until February 17th, 2026.
Okay, and I will officially adjourn that public meeting until a later date. Now I have a resolution moving the Committee of Adjustment and Committee of the Whole to consider public meetings, delegations, public question period, correspondence reports, motions for which notice has been previously given, and other business. Moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Podnowitz. All those in favor? And that passed as well. There are no public meetings. There are no delegations. Public question period. I don't have to read all that. Perfect. Seeing as how there's no members here, public. Correspondence received for information or requiring direction of council. Does anybody have anything they'd like to pull out of there for comment or activity? Councillor Zimmerman?
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson, through you. Actually, two items. Item 9A, I'd like to ask Minto Council's support for the City of Welland's call to action for justice and protection of Canada's children. So in that resolution from Welland, they talk about bail and sentencing provisions to be tightened up, parole and early victim release limits be set, sex offender monitoring through a national registry, and victim and community safety protection. I feel very strongly about that we need, as far as we're concerned, to protect our children. Although we don't want it to happen in Minto, it might at some point, and we could be on board ready for that. We could send that to provincial Canadian governments, MPPs, AMO, Roma, and FCM as part of our endorsement. And then item 9C, I'd like to add mental support to the municipality of North Grenville's resolution to advocate for enhanced school bus safety and the implementation of stop arm cameras. This is not new necessarily, but it's kind of astounding when you read their letter that 30,000 times every single school day, some driver somewhere is going by a school bus with a stopped arm out. And that's just disgusting, actually.
Yes, I found
So,
those statistics quite astounding as well.
I think they have a template attached to this letter that we could certainly fill out and pass on to our local MPs and MPPs. And I think we could take a stab at trying to protect our kids.
Okay, I'm gonna come up with some motions with
Oh,
those. if that's
okay.
all right. I just
So,
wanted to
yeah.
see if there's something else.
Yes, Councillor Dixon.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. I also was wishing to pull A and C. And just on the astonishing statistic of 30,000 times a day, I Googled how many buses there are in Ontario. So there are 20,000 buses and 18,000 drivers. So you can't have a bus on the road without a driver. So that means I think there's 18,000 buses on the road a day, twice a day. So that's 36,000 runs in a day. So that means just about every bus has somebody passing him or meeting him illegally, him, her, the bus. Yeah, that is astonishing. So, and some of them hit children. So maybe that's to support them. Support the motion, not.
I think we understood that.
Better grab that.
I think we understand that. Any other comments? Okay.
Okay, I'm almost done here. So I think the first motion then would be that the Council of the Town of Minto supports Town of Elmer's call to action for justice and protection of Canada's children. It's pretty simple. So you would need a mover and a seconder for that.
Councillor Zimmerman and Councillor Dirksen.
Mhm.
All of those in favor? And that's passed.
And then the second one would be that the Council of the Town of Minto supports the municipality of North Grenville enhanced school bus safety and the implementation of stop arm cameras.
And a mover and seconder for those? Councillor Podnowitz? Councillor Zimmerman?
Come on, guys, it's your turn.
All those in favor? And that's passed as well. Thank you.
Motion to-
So moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Podnowitz. The council receives the correspondence as information for the other items that we haven't made a movement on previously. And we're going to move on to reports of committee and oh, sorry, all in favor. Beg your pardon. Thank you. We're going to move on to reports of committees and town staff, matters tabled and motions for which notice has been previously given. Committee minutes for approval. So we have the cultural roundtable minutes of January, and Gord is already up there at the mic, ready to present that report because I believe Belinda is busy at something else.
She's down in Toronto, yes, with her mayor. Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. So this committee met last Monday, again, another stormy night. I was there, Councillor Podnowitz was there, and we had a few other people that were close by, and we had several attending by Zoom one of those days again. So lots going on with this committee. I guess our next event is this Saturday, which is the Minto Cultural Symposium, where we're bringing together many groups throughout Minto just to exchange ideas and collaborate. And happy to say we're pretty much sold out. So that should be a good event and continue our support of volunteers in the community. The next joint cultural roundtable, and that's the one that we meet with Wellington North and Hanover, will be on Friday, April the 24th at 10 a.m. till 2 p.m., which is right after the mayor's breakfast. So we'll be hustling there. And again, it's been a long winter because we had a really good event planned for December the 4th. And the PowerPoint presentation is included in the package, but the meeting did not happen again due to weather. So some events are easier to reschedule than others. We went through the updated action plan and we made a few preliminary budget allocations. So this committee is a bit unique. Council sets the overall funding envelope and the members decide how to allocate it. But again, there were not enough members in person. That was a tough one to do by Zoom. So we'll do that at the next meeting. And we had the member updates as indicated. And then I guess the next thing that's coming up later this month, actually, this is really the weather report. Fire and ice had to be postponed again for New Year's Eve. So it's rescheduled for Family Day. And that also coincides with a much smaller thing, but our film circuit is that night too. And because February is Black Heritage Month, we have a kind of a Black Heritage themed movie too. And we may be one of the first events sitting in the new seats at the Norrigan. So we hope for that. And on the 28th, again, we're doubling up. We have late afternoon, the walk for the coldest night of the year. And earlier that day, we have our Black Heritage event with Oria Garvia. And we look for that on Eventbrite, and we hope we'll get good attendance for that. So anyway, busy meeting and certainly take any questions.
Any questions for Gord? Seeing none. The recommendation is that recommended by Councillor Dirksen and seconded by Councillor Zimmerman. Council receives the Cultural Roundtable Committee minutes of January 26, 2026 and approves any recommendations contained therein. All of those in favor? And that's passed as well. And then we're going to move on to staff reports. So Sama has a report on a lot line adjustment on O'Dwyer's Road for us, please.
Yes, thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. Consent application B99-25 is being considered by the County of Wellington Land Division Committee for a proposed lot line adjustment to add approximately 0.33 hectare or 0.82 acre of vacant agricultural land at 9568 O'Dwyer's Road to an abutting vacant agricultural parcel of approximately 0.41 hectare or 1 acre owned by Kyle and Lindsay Ellis. To provide some background on the subject lands, about 2 years ago, this 1 acre vacant land was severed through consent application for proposed rural residential use as permitted under provincial policy statement and official plan. The new owner is now seeking to add additional land to the previously severed parcel through this lot line adjustment in order to create a more functional building lot for the existing property. The return farmland is approximately 3.85 hectare or 9.51 acre, and with existing and proposed agricultural uses. All zoning requirements, including lot area, front edge, setback requirements, appear to be met. Standard conditions have been recommended, including confirmation that the proposed lots and associated land uses, buildings, and structures comply with all applicable requirements of the town of Minto, and that all municipal accounts are in good standing. Town staff are recommending that council endorse the application and recommend approval to the County of Wellington Land Division Committee subject to the recommended conditions. If you have any question, I would be happy to answer.
Any questions? No? Seeing none, then I will read the recommendation. That the, moved by Councillor Podnowitz, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of the Town of Minto recommends that the County of Wellington Land Division Committee approve consent application B99/25-Ellis for lands legally described as Minto Concession 13, PT Lot 7RP 61R6089, Parts 1, 2, and PT Part 4 in the town of Minto, and that the following conditions be considered. That the owner/applicant satisfies all the requirements of the town of Minto, financial and otherwise, which the town of Minto may deem to be necessary for the proper and orderly development of the subject lands, including but not limited to the payment of any monies owed to the town of Minto, and that all accounts are in good standing, and further that the town of Minto file with the Secretary Treasurer of the Planning and Land Division Committee a letter of clearance of this condition. Secondly, that the owner applicant obtains a written statement from the town of Minto confirming the proposed lots and associated land uses, buildings, and structures comply with all applicable requirements in the town of Minto. And further, that the town of Minto file with the Secretary Treasurer of the Planning and Land Division Committee a letter of clearance of this condition. And I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Yep. Sorry, is that what you were waiting
That's
for? All
what we
those
were
in
waiting
favor?
for,
Sorry. And that's passed. I'll get the hang of this eventually. I
quick
only do it
question.
once a year, so, you know. Okay, we're moving on to a fire protection grant program that will be presented by Chris Harrow.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson, through you. This is just the yearly grant that we get from the Fire Marshal's Office. We are thankful that they have put this grant process into place and that they give it to all fire departments in Ontario. There is a stipulation on it that it has to go towards cancer prevention materials. So this year will be the third year that we're finishing up putting extractors or heavy duty wash machines for washing our gear. Clifford will be getting extractors this year and plumbed and wired and all set up. So of note, they did double the grant for us this year, which is great. So it's starting to help make a dent in the process, but any money left over that we have this year, depending on the cost of the extractors, will go towards buying some more bunker gear so that we have some extra sets around. So when they're washing their gear, they have sets of gear to be able to use. So that's what we're using. And just this report is so that giving you authorization to sign it so we can get our money.
I'll read the recommendation moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Zimmerman, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report Fire 2026-001 Fire Protection Grant Program prepared by the Director of Fire Services for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto approves the application submitted by the Fire Service Management Team for the Fire Protection Grant Program and allow staff to enter into a transfer payment agreement with the province to receive the funds. And further, that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the bylaw to enter into the agreement. Any questions for you, Deputy Mayor?
If I can just ask for a friendly amendment, just to read, and for the deputy mayor and clerk be authorized.
Oh, yes,
Thank you.
yes, I should be saying that. Yeah. Counselor Elliott.
Thank you. Chris, how often do you use the extractors? Like, do you every fire, every time you go out or?
Not every time we go out, but anytime there's contaminants on the gear now, so any structure fire, grass fire, motor vehicle collision where there might be some fluids on it. Anytime there's any sort of contaminants on the gear, now they have to be washed. It takes about 24 to 40 hours to wash them, but then to dry them after that. So
So if you get a call, you put them in the extractors, and then you had another call, you got gear that they can put on.
we do have we have some spare gear around. It's getting thinner, and that's why we're going to try and buy some extra gear. But we have spare gear that's there that's been left over from people retiring or whatnot. But all gear has to be kept within 10 years. So after 10 years, gear's no good anymore, no matter what. So we have to throw it out. So we're trying to get a good inventory of used gear in there for people to use. But as we know, everybody comes in different shape and sizes, so it's very hard to keep
Sure.
gear for everyone's size.
Or you have a fire, put an extractor, another fire. You gotta have spare gears.
Correct. Or there is the option that some have done in the past where they'll just put slightly wet gear back on and go out to the second call. So yeah, so that has happened.
Counselor,
Dirksen. Yep, turn my name tag. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Another question. So how many sets of gear can you put in the extractor?
So what we do is we buy two smaller extractors. So gear comes apart. So there's an inner lining and an outer shell. So the shells get washed together and then the inner lining gets washed together. So we can do two sets at a time. Each cycle is about 35 to 45 minutes depending. So that's what we can do in the extractors.
Heard something about 24 hours.
Yeah, but that's to dry the gear because you can't throw it in an industrial dryer. You have to let them air dry with fans blowing on them. So they take 24 to 48 hours,
Gotcha.
depending on how humid it is out to dry. So yeah, no problem.
interesting. And in weather like we've been having, when it's this cold, putting on wet gear would not.
It's not an option now. No,
Okay.
no,
All right.
they
I was
use
gonna
spare
say-
gear or borrow
like
friends if absolutely necessary. They might know a friend that's the same size as them. They'll borrow a friend's that's not here. But
Well, thank you for that report. That's informative. We already read that. We just need a show of hands. All those in favor? Thank you very much. Keep track of our. And we're moving on now to municipal drain 59 improvement request presented by Ryan Binkley.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor Anderson. This report today addresses a request for municipal drain improvement under Section 78 for municipal drain 59. This request was submitted by the owner of 6739 Wellington Road 109 for the purpose of improving and relocating an existing municipal drain branches to accommodate for the construction of a industrial subdivision in Tividale. Some background on municipal drain 59. It services roughly a watershed of 400 acres, which consists of a variety of land uses around Tividale. Records indicate that the original drain was constructed under a report from 1964, with later improvements completed under a separate report from 1981. This is a closed tile drain that's it outlets into another municipal drain number 5, which is an open ditch. To address the request for improvement, a qualified engineer shall conduct a detailed study to evaluate the drain's capacity, condition, alignment, and and provide recommendations that includes designs, cost estimates, and landowner assessments and timelines in accordance with Section 78 of the Drainage Act. This process requires that all affected property owners and stakeholders are notified of the process and given an opportunity to include inputs and ask for other improvements. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Are there any questions? No, then I'll read the motion. Moved by Councillor Podnowitz, seconded by Councillor Dirksen. The Council of Town of Minto hereby receives report PW 2026-004 Municipal Drain 59 Improvement Request, prepared by the Drainage Superintendent for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto supports proceeding with the drainage works and instructs the clerk to send the required notifications under Section 78 of the Act. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto appoints Headway Engineering, pending the required 30-day notice period, to carry out the works prescribed under Section 78 of the Drainage Act. All those in favor? And that's passed as well. Thank you. And I'm now going to pass the chair to Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Anderson. We have two items on the finance agenda this afternoon, and I'll turn it back to Treasurer Duff.
Great. Thank you, Chair Dirksen. So further to our report from last meeting, the Council of the County of Wellington has formally awarded the tender for the reconstruction of downtown Palmerston on Main Street to Moorfield Excavating, a local firm. So we're very pleased with that. I believe the clerk has circulated their report, which gives you a lot of timelines, and it breaks down the details of the construction. And I guess I should mention, I'm sure everyone's aware, we're going to be doing a lot of communication with businesses and residents. And I know Belinda and Triton Engineering are starting a series of construction cafes, as they're calling them, starting in April. So that will hopefully answer a lot of questions that people have. I'm bringing this report forward because, as we know, we have two grant programs, and the House Enabling Water Systems Fund, or HUSIF, is the one that Minto was awarded. So I need the council to formally accept the award of that portion of the work, which was formally awarded by the county council, but just an endorsement from the Town of Minto Council, and also supporting Moorfield Excavating.
Okay, great. I will read the recommendation. Moved by Councillor Zimmerman and seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report finance 2026-005 reconstruction of downtown Palmerston tender acceptance, prepared by the treasurer for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby endorses the tender award by the Council of the County of Wellington for the reconstruction of Main Street, Palmerston, to Moorfield Excavating under the House Enabling Water Systems Fund program. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none. All in favor? Thank you, that carries. And on to number 2.
Right. So this is a proposal to amend the mayor's capital budget. So we brought forward the draft capital budget on November 25th, which was before the particular tender in Palmerston was awarded, and also a few other things have come to light. You have a bit better information 2 months on. So we have modified some of the figures in the capital budget, which was Schedule C to that report, and we have that here too. Basically, we've reflected the cost estimates in the Main Street Palmerston report and a few other things. So we've changed the total amount. We've also gone through and decided in consultation with all the department heads what would be the appropriate amount of borrowing. And this is kind of a repassing of the proposed capital works. Again, I put all the Palmerston work in the 26 budget, even though we know it's going to be over 3 years, but we want to borrow once. The total amount to be borrowed now is proposed at 3.5 million for the various projects that are highlighted in that report. So basically what we're doing here, we're getting the endorsement of the council for the projects, like all of the projects, but particularly the ones that we intend on debenture financing. we will be bringing forward what they call an application bylaw, which is the lower tier being the town of Minto requesting the county of Wellington to borrow on our behalf. That will either be on the 17th or likely the first meeting in March, and then that will go forward to the county council meeting at the end of March, and funds should flow in April. So again, happy to answer any questions, but
Okay, I'll read the recommendation. Moved by Counselor Podnowitz and seconded by Counselor Zimmerman that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report Finance 2026-06, the 2026 capital budget amendment prepared by the treasurer for information purposes. And further, that the Council of the Town of Minto approves the capital budget amendment to adjust the capital budget per the updated Schedule C attached to the report. Are there any questions? Counselor Podnowitz.
Through your chair. Gord, I'm assuming this is an open loan that can be paid off.
no,
right?
it's not.
It's not.
No, these debentures are either going to be 10-year or 20-year. I've got a schedule. They're basically water, wastewater, 20 years, just because their expected life is 60 years, we hope, and 10 years for the road part and what we call the economic development, and that's really the streetscapes and the other conduits and things like that.
Okay, anyone else? I just wanted to add that there's no changes to the tax levy.
Absolutely not.
because
No
of
changes to
these
the tax
budget
levy. Yes,
amendments.
that's a good point.
And I also wanted to say that I believe it was an engineer that was here, maybe that regarding a drain, he said spreadsheets don't populate themselves. And
No,
I
they
think
don't.
I think that's where we heard that recently. And so I just wanted to thank you for the
Thank you.
the great spreadsheets and keeping us all informed. So,
Great, thanks.
Okay, anyone else? Questions, comments? Okay, I'll call a question. All in favor? Thank you. That carries.
Great, thanks.
Thank you, Treasurer Duff, and I'll turn the chair back to Deputy Mayor Anderson.
Thank you, Councillor Dirksen. And we're now on to announcements. Mr. Elliott, you've been quiet today. We'll start at your end of the table. How's that?
Usually I'm quiet.
I beg your pardon?
Usually. I've got three things that'll maybe make up for being quiet. First of all, I want to talk about the Morgan Theater. And I want to thank Greg, many of our staff throughout different various organizations within our staff who came to the Morgan Theater and in one morning took all the seats out of the Morgan Theater, including the bowls, cleaned up the floor, took all the seats and moved them over to the Harrison Theater, and they're in there now. Great work. I couldn't believe they get it all in one morning. And thank Greg and thank you, your staff, for at the Morgan board. It's just exciting. So since that, the floor, we put new flooring in. What's it called?
Epoxy?
Epoxy, yeah. Put a new epoxy flooring in, and that's done. And that was done within a couple of days. And then when we went in there and saw the seats off, Elaine, my wife, looked at the walls and said, "Uh-oh, all the seats are right. And where the seats were, you always painted around them." So there's little white spots when you dug in. So since that, some staff went in and our Northern Tier volunteers went in and painted. That was all done last night, so it's ready now. Today, I believe we're starting to come in. We have a company, it's Mark Harding, is coming in with his group, and they're cleaning all, since they've got to put a jack up in there, they're gonna clean all the lights inside, fans and such like. And we're putting new curtains up the front, which we already have. We're gonna hang those. We've got curtains at the back that I have, so. We're hoping Monday, we are hoping that the new seats are coming Monday, and then the guy that brings the seats will also be installing at that time. So pretty exciting time. I don't know how many days, a couple days to install. then I think he's moving over to Harrison to help them install their seats. I don't know what's happening at Crown Theater because their seats are on the Crown Theater. Crown Theater. So exciting times. I'll bring you up to date at our next council meeting, how well it's received, and we'll when we open up, Lord thinks he'll be the first one in the seats. But I think we're having a volunteer night before that, so anyhow, pretty exciting time for that. Secondly, we talked about this much this year, the 81's hockey team, senior hockey team. They're moving into playoffs. 2 years in a row now, they've been all Ontario AA champions. Last year, they were invited to the Allen Cup, which is basically best senior hockey team in Canada would compete in that. It was unknown before that a AA team would come and compete against AAA teams. Minto team did very, very well. We won a game, got into the semifinals. We beat the best team in Canada, as it turns out, because that team ended up winning the Allen Cup. So this year, the 81s have been invited to compete in the Allen Cup again, and it's in Newfoundland. So they're going to Newfoundland in the third week in April, I think it is. Maybe about 5 days, and they're going to compete again for the Allen Cup. And they're very confident. I mean, last year they didn't know what they were getting into. There's a lot of ex-pros playing on these other teams, and we didn't know how we could compete, and found out we could. They think, and the team thinks, and I think that it was quite a good possibility to win the championship. So that's a lot to be said for a small town community. And so we're in the middle of our playoffs at that time, the Imperial Championships again. And so right, if we're in the finals that week, the finals, we'd be in Newfoundland. So the teams voted to allow the 81s to compete. And when they're in Newfoundland, if we're in the finals, they will take that week off to allow us to compete, which is pretty big of them. They could have said, no, you're not competing in the playoffs, but they allowed that to happen, which was good. Secondly, did I mention the playoffs? The 81s had a bit of a shaky start, and we're like in 4th or 5th place. They managed to come beat Durham the other night, and that put them in strongly. Well, not strongly, put us in the 2nd spot, 1 point behind 1st place. 1 point ahead, 3rd place. Either we won that game, we were going to be in 2nd spot. Lost that game, we were going to be 4th spot. That's how tight it is. So by 2nd spot gives us a better opportunity because we get home gate for playoffs all the way through. Another exciting time for us. So anyhow, I thought I'd bring that up. We start this weekend, Saturday at 6 p.m. So if you're out about or you hear anybody wants to find out about the 81's hockey, it's great hockey. It's fun to watch. So, okay. And I thank our rec staff for helping us set up our playoff times and stuff. Because our rinks are full. It's quite a challenge for Matt and the staff to find ice time. And with playoffs, we don't know when it's going to happen. So all of a sudden it's showing up. They move things around and let us play, and hopefully we continue to do that. So that's my announcements. Pretty good, for quiet.
That was good. Thank you. Councillor Podnowitz?
Just a reminder of the fire and ice on Family Day this coming up very soon. Thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention again.
Yeah, thank you. Councillor Dirksen?
I have 2 items. First, we have a young lady in Palmerston, rather sad. She has been diagnosed with brain cancer. And there is a fundraiser for her. Her name is Madeline Boonstra. And there's a fundraiser for her on Saturday, February 14th, 2026. And it is a card making event. It includes lunch, goes from 10 till 1:30, and it's $60 per person. There's limited spaces, and you have to sign up by tomorrow, February 4th. And I'm assuming there's still space as I'm telling you this. The email is the only contact to sign up. So that email is Wendy and then GDV. So G for George, D for David, V for Vivian @gmail.com. And yeah, so these events that we have for these situations are usually very well attended, and so just want to encourage people to sign up and help out this family.
Is it at the arena?
It's at the Harrison Community Center, yes. Yeah. It says, if you know something about paper crafting, that's great, but it's not a requirement, so you can come and learn. Okay, and then the second thing I wanted to highlight, Blessings to You. They are a store, actually 2 stores in Palmerston. They donated almost $67,000 into our community in 2025. There are over 100 volunteers in their group. They've provided free skates, free swims, and of course, they're huge supporters of the Fire and Ice event that's coming up. They've also donated to the Palmerston District Hospital Foundation, the Grove Railway Museum, Minto Fire, and I'm sure there's others. Anyway, so just a shout out to them. They fill a need in our community, and then they also put money back into the community. So it's a win-win, and they just do a great job, and I thought they deserve to be highlighted.
I agree. They do a phenomenal job. It's a great place to go thrifting and shopping and buying. People who are struggling a bit, buy cheaper clothes instead of putting them in the dump site. And as you say, all kinds of good works for the community. But it's a really, really good organization.
Yeah.
Can't say enough good about it. Councillor Zimmerman.
Well, it's kind of poor going last. All my talking points have been taken up, so
I have to follow you. So
just
leave some.
one exciting thing that happened this week, and I'm sure we're all excited. Wyerton Willie declares winter will be over very soon. So let's go for that.
Okay.
Although you never know it
Next week.
That's all I have.
That's all you have?
The other ones have been spoken about.
Okay, perfect. The one thing I would like to do is a huge shout out to our snow removal staff and our roads maintenance. My goodness, what a challenging winter they have had, as has everybody else. And the kids have already had enough days off to be March break. I figure they should go to school during March break just to catch up, but I'm sure that won't happen. But the challenges on the roads have been, and just a marvelous job of getting out there. And when they get done the regular clearing, getting the banks cleared again so that the roads aren't closed because of the drifting and the blowing. And I can't say enough good about them. I'm sure they've been out there for hours and hours and hours and nights and nights and nights in not very nice conditions. And thankfully, they're all been safe. We haven't heard of any mishaps, and that's a good thing as well. I just can't say enough about it because I just keep thinking, oh my goodness, the road crews. Other than that, there was something else that I was going to say, and it's just slipped right out of my head. It'll come back at some later time, but probably next week. So I'm sure it wasn't anything. We all know about Fire and Ice. There's lots of things going on. February is a busy little month. There seems to be a lot of activities. Okay. So if there's nothing else for announcements, we can move on to I make a motion, sorry, to return to regular council. That was moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that we committee of the whole convenes into regular council. All those in favor? And that's passed. And then we've got a resolution adopting the proceedings of the committee of the whole, moved by Councillor Podnowitz, seconded by Councillor Zimmerman. Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in the committee of the whole. All those in favor? And we have a couple of bylaws. So 2026-007, the transfer payment agreement fire protection grant, moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Elliott. that bylaw 2026-007 be approved and read a first, second, third time, passed in open council, sealed with the seal of the corporation. All those in favor? And moved by Councillor Podnowitz, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that bylaw 2026-008 to confirm the actions of the council of the corporation of the town of Minto respecting a meeting held February 3rd be read a first, second, third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All those in favor? And that's passed. And moved by Councillor Dirksen, seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the council of the town of Minto adjourns to meet again at the call of the mayor. All those in favor? And that also is passed. Thank you for a good meeting, folks.